Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and this time it is the Medicom Toy Mafex number 81 Iron Spider from Avengers Infinity War. Now this is a highly anticipated figure of mine. I've had it for a couple of weeks now. It's just kind of been sitting because there's just been so many legends coming through. It's been just taking up all of my time, but I'm very excited to finally get this thing opened up. Now I know that there's several other reviews and lots of other warnings saying careful with those spider legs, or Waldos as they're called in the comics. Because they can tend to break. So I will be very delicate, and hopefully I don't break this, because when you have a $90 to $100 figure, you don't want little pieces breaking on you, because that's just crazy. You know, these import figures come at a premium cost, so the fact that some of them could be pretty fragile is kind of disheartening. But I will be careful with it, and you know, I promise to be easy. I don't know if I'm going to display it with the spider legs because it takes up more space that way. I have my MCU Spider-Man shelf is quite full at the moment, and Far From Home stuff is still coming out. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but we're going to do it. I don't usually review import figures. There's a lot of articulation to these guys that I'm not the greatest at posing and doing dynamic poses and that sort of thing. If you guys have followed the channel, you guys know that. But I do want to show you the figure, get up close to it so you can see some of the details and see where the articulation is. Mafex Homecoming Spider-Man was probably the best Spider-Man figure out there. Way better than SH Figuarts in my opinion. And I have no doubt that this one's going to blow the SH Figuarts Iron Spider out of the water as well. The only thing I don't like about this figure, though, is going to be this Tom Holland head sculpt, because it's just not very good, plain out. The Homecoming one sucked. This one sucks too. I thought maybe it would be good. Mafex can make a fantastic figure, but their actual head sculpt, unmasked head sculpts, are pretty lacking. They're not very good. The promo images, they look a lot better. We'll see how that Black Panther's going to come out looking. We'll see how that Thor's going to come out looking. The John Wick looked pretty good, so I don't know what's going on with some of these Marvel ones and why they just can't seem to nail the likeness. Or maybe it's a Tom Holland thing. I don't know, but I'm pretty disappointed into it. I'll let you guys know that right now. But let's get right to it, open this thing up, and take a better look. Okay, guys, here is the Iron Spider figure out of the package, and he is a very, very good figure, but an extremely delicate figure when it comes to these spider legs or the Waldos. So much so that it's actually very scary to handle. After hearing all the stories of them breaking, I wanted to be very easy and careful with it, and even still, it scares me to move these things even a tiny bit because I'm worried that they're going to break. So this may not be a full normal review with these import figures. I just kind of like to feature them, show you some of the cool things and stuff like that. But man, yeah, it's real scary. But let's take a look at the accessories first. Okay, so accessory wise, he's pretty loaded. So he comes with 5 total, actually 6 total interchangeable hands. So the 2 hands that he comes with out of the package are both open hands. Then we get wall crawling hands, thwipping hands, web holding hands, and fists. And then we also get a set of magnetic hands, so you can have them sticking up on a refrigerator or some other kind of metal. So that's pretty cool. Then he also has interchangeable feet. These are the magnetic feet. So again, you can have them doing some kind of wall crawling pose or something that's on magnetic metal or refrigerator. We have the unmasked Tom Holland head that doesn't look like Tom Holland head, which isn't very good, which could be decent standalone, but because it's supposed to look like Tom Holland, it's not very good head. And then we also get one where his eyes are squinted down a little bit. Not a huge difference from the one that comes out of the package, but you could see that there's a lot more white on these ones. And then of course the other additional accessory are the spider legs. Now this is an entire back piece that's kind of held on by magnet and a couple of little pegs onto his back. It's pretty simple enough. You just kind of pull it off the back of the figure. So out of the package, you know, he has the regular back on. This one is very easy to come off. So it just pops off, and then it looks really funky kind of seeing the inside of it like that. But it's also pretty cool to kind of see what the inside of the figure might look like. And then this, you're just going to port it right on to the back. The first time I did it, it didn't want to go on, so you have to put a little bit of force, which again scares me because I don't want to push too much on this because I'm worried of what's going to happen to these Waldos. So these things look good. I really like them. They are screen accurate with the blue and gold. Maybe a tad too much blue, but they are screen accurate. But you could see that with Mafex, you know, it's a 1/12 scale figure, and imports it's like a true 1/12 scale, so they end up being a little bit smaller. So because of that, we get all these ball joints with tiny pegs. So again, very, very delicate and need to be very, very careful. So okay, well, I'll go ahead and do it on this one. This one keeps popping off of that ball joint. So the ball joint's split in half with a little peg that holds it together. And this one keeps coming off. It came off once and now it wants to come off very easily. So I have to put it back together. And again, I have to be very careful because my fingers are a little bit bigger to get in between these two to force it together. So, God, yeah, you have to be very, very careful. So these can be spun around in there, but you want to grab it all the way there and move it with your finger. You don't want to grab it from up here and try and bend it. See, yeah, don't want to do it that way. So that's pretty cool. Then they get a hinge right there as well. So that's pretty cool. And then at that ball hinge, the leg itself can also can also spin on that ball peg, but you want to be very, very careful with it. Then you get another hinge here, and there's no spinning of it on that joint. It's just a regular hinge. We get another hinge up here, and then another hinge here at the end of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of articulation on per spider leg. So that's pretty cool. So then you can get, you can get these spider legs into all kinds of great dynamic poses, and they look really good. So on face value of appearance and aesthetic, by far the best Iron Spider figure that has been released. Now, I have several still yet to come. I have a Nendoroid that's going to be coming. I have the 80th anniversary with Iron Man that I'll be picking up at Comic-Con. So, but this one, it's still a very clear winner. The Marvel Select is a very good one. But again, this one is so much better. So that's all I'm going to show with these spider legs, just because, again, they're extremely delicate and you want to be very, very careful. I think I may not even display them with the spider legs, because even if I do, I'm worried that if it falls, these things could break. So it's an unfortunate thing when you have an import figure that costs upwards of $100. I think I paid $93 shipped from a local seller, and for some part to break on it, because it's not like you could just replace it, call up someone, or take your receipt to the store. So I won't be displaying it with it, because even without it, this figure is absolute fire. It is a great figure. You could do all kinds of great things with it. So let's check out some of the stuff he can do. Can't believe I actually almost forgot. So the additional web accessories, you'll have to remove this portion here. It's all clear plastic, so I kind of didn't see them at first. But then up underneath, we have several different web lines. So we have a long one, which we have a kind of an L shape here, so you can hold on to it. Here's another one with an L shape. And then we have some that kind of go around the wrist, which is pretty cool, because then when you do that, it looks like he's actually shooting a web. So it ends up looking pretty nice. Pull that part out, and then they're just kind of free sitting in there. So when you have one that's like this, you can just pop off the wrist, get that to wrap around in there, and then just put that hand right back on, and you can make it look like he's shooting web out of his wrist. So that's a nice little feature that I like. So pretty cool. Okay, so just looking at the figure itself, you can see that it's a very, very good figure, very aesthetically pleasing. The metallic red, the metallic blue looks very good. The gold looks good. Everything about this figure looks really good. The sculpt of it, everything. You can even see the little mini arc reactor things that are in throughout the figure. So I'm very pleased with the figure itself. whoops, look at that. I forgot to put the back piece on. There's another look at it. It's just so weird. And to put this on, this one goes on much easier. This one's like fully just utilizes the magnetic piece. Since it's really light, just pops on, no problem. Yeah, this figure just looks really good. I mean, the articulation on this guy is crazy. You can get that neck to go around, and then the head itself can move around independent of that neck. It's crazy. I mean, this awesome butterfly joint. You can get the arm up and down. There's a bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow, which looks very natural. There's a wrist swivel. One complaint that I do have, aside from the delicateness of the spider legs, is these hand pegs. So they're very small, but they're completely straight. So the hands, and I'll put that gauntlet piece on pretty soon, the hands just slip on. So that means they also slip off very, very easily. My son was playing around with this a little bit last night as well, and he kept saying, man, the hands keep falling off. So you need to watch out for that. So it's nice that it makes it easy to switch them out, and you really won't have to worry about breaking those. But I mean, they come off extremely easy because there's no little notch or anything that's going to help hold it in place, like Marvel Legends have, that kind of thing. There's a diaphragm joint, which gives you a lot of really good movement in that diaphragm joint. Side to side motion as well. There's a waist diaphragm, which gives you some swivel in there. So man, that's great. The legs have that drop down feature, because doing that can get you into all kinds of crazy dynamic poses with the legs, getting them to kick forward, all kinds of great things. A natural looking double jointed knee. I really like the way they do it to hide this joint, how it's this curved joint that goes within the legs. I like the way they do that. The feet that hinge, you can see the ball peg a little bit. I wish that was more of the same metallic red, but it's not. So that's another thing that's quite noticeable, is you just have that flat red mixed in with that metallic. But lots of great motion in there. There's even toe articulation, if I can get it. So I mean, the articulation on this thing is great. So you'll be very happy with it. Again, it's just the delicateness of the spider legs. Now let's pop this off and let's take a look at the Tom Holland head. It comes off very easily. So the Tom Holland head actually has a separate neck piece. This other interchangeable Iron Spider head or Spider-Man head does not have the neck piece, so you would leave that other neck piece on, and then it just goes on like so. And God, it just doesn't look like Tom Holland. Like, what is going on? Promo pics, it looked better, but this, I don't know what's going on. Looks like he's rolling his eyes. He's not happy. I just don't see it. And I was very disappointed. Mafex can make a fantastic figure, but their head sculpts just seem to be lacking. But again, promo images look great. So like the T'Challa, the Black Panther figure coming up, looks fantastic. That Thor looks amazing. But what's the final product going to look like? We don't really know that yet. But there he is. Okay, switching out the hands, like I mentioned, you can see that peg is very, very small. So when you get your hand, it just fits on there, no problem. And then a little bit of that ball joint you can see, and it's not metallic either, but the gauntlet pieces kind of really help hide that. So pretty easy. Now to switch out the feet, to get the magnetic feet on, you're going to really want to hold it here at the ball joint. You pop it off, you just got that large peg there, and then you can just port that foot on in like so, and bam. So then you have your magnetic feet. So they look the exact same, but again, there's just magnets on the bottom, so you can get it up against some kind of metal. So very easy to do. Okay, so to switch out the head, you just pull at the neck and you can pop that off. So here you'll see again the neck piece on the other Spider-Man head. You have to pull these apart. You can see that is a small ball joint, and it just ports right on in there. And I was very concerned that this small ball peg would break or something, because you have to kind of get that ball joint kind of deep in there to port in. So I was a little worried about that, but it's not so bad, except as you can see, I kind of struggle there. And then you get the neck piece, and then on another ball joint, port it on in. There you go. Okay, so here's all the Iron Spider goodness that I have in my collection. I have the basic Hero Vision Hasbro, the Marvel Legends, the Chinese figure, whatever brand that is, that we call bootleg, but I guess really isn't. It's an official company in China. The Mafex Iron Spider, SH Figure Arts, the Marvel Select, Beast Kingdom, and then the Mini Mates. So Beast Kingdom is coming out with another one. They're re-releasing it with a Tom Holland head, or Peter Parker head, I should say, because it's cartoony looking. But they're also releasing it because it's going to have light up eyes, and then it will have new spider legs or Waldos. It'll actually have screen accurate ones with the gold and blue, which the only figure out of all of these that is actually accurate is the Mafex version. Now, Marvel Legends is coming out with one that should be pretty accurate. I don't know. I don't have it yet. Shall see. Dan Hu has a review of it. You guys can check that out. He did a great job. So, you know, the Marvel Legends will probably be the better one because I think they're going to be a little bit more sturdy and durable compared to this one. Beast Kingdom one will be nice, but I also have the Nendoroid coming at any point, so maybe that one will be pretty good. But you know, Nendoroids are only like this big, right? They're not they're not like these kind of figures. They're very they're just kind of a fun figure. So really cool things. Mafex is the clear winner out of all of these. The Marvel Select is a great one, but it's just so out of scale with everything. So at this point, my favorite figure actually is the Mafex version. Even with the spider legs being so delicate, still the best one. Okay, so here's a better look at your 6-inch scale figures and how they kind of look together. The SH Figure Arts has good articulation, but aesthetically overall, wow, it's just kind of a dud now that I see it next to the Mafex. No metallic paint, except the gold is kind of bright. The red they really lacked on, the blue they really lacked on, just not metallic enough. The Legends, the blue looks good, but then the red doesn't really look so good. No spider legs, so that was really tough. So this Mafex, it just looks great, and you could see he's a little bit taller than the Figure Arts one, shorter than the Marvel Legends, and that tends to be the case with these figures because imports end up being usually a little bit shorter. But there's my feature / review. I guess I did kind of go into some detail there. You guys let me know what you guys think about the figure. Are you going to pick it up? Have you picked it up? Did yours break? Let me know all of it down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys liked the video, and as always, thank you for watching.